Hello everyone. Today I'm here with a new interview with SENTRIZE. Hello, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Halls.
That's
I'm good. How are
that's
you?
I'm good. That's nice. So SENTRIZE is one of the DC1 legends. I will say he's quite a history character for the game. So why you don't tell me a bit about yourself? Maybe what do you do? Maybe how old are you? Where do you live? Like something so people are a bit more connected to you.
Yeah, sure. So I'm just 30, like 30 years old,
Mhm.
and I'm from Denmark, around the capital. And I started playing Deceit back in 2020. When the pandemic started. So I used to play League of Legends. I still play League of Legends, but back then when the pandemic, like I couldn't go out with my friends and stuff like that. So I was like Googling on the internet, it's like scary games, co-op scary games, because my friends like to play like scary games like Outlast and things like that. But I wanted to play with them, so I was like searching on multiplayer games for scary games. And I remember on the list it said like Deceit on, like, I think it was like top 6 or top 5, like in the middle of the review.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that looks interesting. And I went on Steam, and I was like, it was a free game. So I was like, okay, it looked cool. And I remember the trailer, the YouTube trailer with that guy who has that very iconic voice, like the game master,
Mhm.
like in it's DC1 trailer. So I was like, okay, this looks interesting. So I went into game, I played a few rounds, and I instantly got hooked because the game was very brutal in a way, in the sense that, like, you could shoot, you could deceive people. It was very action packed, like with the camera and like the terrors. You could kill them and they would respawn, and the vents and everything. So there was like constant action. Like there were always constant action, even moving between the levels. There was the gas. And that just made for it made for some really interesting and fun action-packed gameplay. So I just kept playing. But sadly, because of that, because of the action, because of all the gas and the shooting and so on, getting my friends into the game was actually really difficult. Actually, the only friend I played the seed with is Timon, and he's also known from the uh,
Oh, so
yeah.
Timon, the German guy, he's also I also know him.
Yeah,
Um,
I made friends with him in the game,
mhm,
because my real friends, like my friends from outside the game, they tried maybe 1, 2, 3 rounds, but they got put off
I see.
because they were like trying to, deceive, trying to like role play, but it didn't matter because I was so good at the game. I could just shoot my way out of the situation, basically. So
Yeah.
people lost interest really fast, and that's also one of the main reasons I think that we now have the C2, is simply because the gap between new players and older players, like the shooting skills aspect of the seed, it's not what you sign up for in the beginning. People hope for more deception, but then as the game progresses and you get better at the game, you actually find out that you can actually shoot with the shotgun or the pistol, and like loot armor, that you can actually like get out of sticky situations even if people know it's you. And so that's why I kept playing, and I have no friends that plays the game except Timon, but also Timon left the game. But it's so hard when you get frightened out of the game if you're playing with really good players and just get punished from the beginning. And I think that is true from any kind of game. Like, nobody would play League of Legends or Hearthstone or Counter-Strike or any other game if they're just playing with pros or really good players from the beginning. They'll just get headshot or completely destroyed. But in Deceit, I feel like you get into the game hoping it will be this more casual experience where you can like deceit, you can try and figure out who it is, until later in the game you find out it doesn't even matter, because these
Yeah.
players are so good. They will shoot, they will run around, they will use the wall hack to dodge you, and it's just a big mess. And also getting all the random people to target that specific player in a casual lobby or even in some rank, it can be a challenge.
But yeah, but as you say, the big problem with the Seed One is that it's now more like a FPS game and it's not
Yeah.
deceiving at all. So that's why they're making the Seed Two, and that's why they're adding more players. They're adding more items to the shop and things like that. But first of all, I want to make a question to you. So
Yeah.
you didn't play the legacy, right? Because if you started in 2020, you didn't play the legacy, or you got to play a bit.
So I played in 2020, like 2020, like right after the pandemic started. So in
Mm-hmm.
like 2020 February, something like that, maybe a little bit later than that. I can't exactly remember, but I played when they released the pandemic mask, like
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
I remember. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. That's when I started playing, and that was when ranked was booming, like 100 and 100 of player playing ranked, and like Colo Wallo was like streaming and playing. I
yeah,
really think that was like the peak, at least in my experience, like from when I started to now. That was the peak of Deceit. That when you could find streamers, like dedicated streamers for Deceit, like Tycho, Colo Wallo, Noodle. I can't remember his full name, but there was also the Noodle guy, who like they streamed a lot and played the game a lot.
yeah.
Uh,
That era of the seed when Colo was streaming a lot. That was, I think, the peak era.
yeah,
Um,
that was
eh,
a golden
Yeah,
era
yeah,
of
the
Deceit.
golden, I would say, yeah. When people enter the game, they see that you're the top two reputation player, right, of the whole game,
Yeah,
and you were top
yeah,
one for a long time,
yeah,
until the Russian guy, Mr. X, passed you, right, because he was seeing that you were not playing, so he was seeing that maybe he had a chance to take the top one, which now he has, right. So then I wanted to ask you, right, so you played the game, then your friends didn't like it, but you still played the game, and not only that, you spend quite a lot of money in getting that top one reputation, of course, because you support the game, right? I think that's the
yeah,
main
yeah.
idea. But just so why you went for the top reputation spot on the City One?
Okay, so the history is quite simple. So I like the game a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and at some point, George, like the devs, said that now you could get all the legacy skins by using that the Game Master Cup game,
Yeah.
where you could get the skins, like the legacy skins. And I calculated during the summer event, because it was during a summer event that they did. They were like announcing summer. I think it was 2021, maybe. I cannot remember, but it was a summer event. And what they did was that if you bought, let's say, 30 coins, you actually got like, I think it was like 25 or 30% more tokens.
Mm-hmm.
So I calculated that if I just spam a lot of money right now, I would actually get a shit ton of tokens for almost like half price compared to like if you just bought it at any other time. So it's like this was incredibly good value, because like I could literally buy the biggest pack, get a lot of extra tokens, and literally just spam tokens and get all of the legacy skins,
Yeah.
which I did. It was expensive. I spent like more than 2,000 euros on it, but given the fact that after that I had every skin, like literally every skin, even if I didn't like before I even played, like I had everything, all the Christmas skins, all the St. Petri, what is it called, the green goblin gnome skins, like I
And
even
Patrick's, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I had all of them, and it was so easy because it was cheap, because if I didn't do that trick, I would have easily have paid double,
Yeah,
easy paid double.
or triple. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
it
it's
was just
also depending on luck, right? I mean, the legacy
exactly.
items is depending on luck, but the more you have, the more chances you have to get a dupe and then to get the legacy item.
So it was a mixture of me having the money, first of all, but also me liking the game, and also the summer event. The summer event kind of kicked it off, and then after the summer event was over and I took so much advantage of the discount, then afterwards getting the remaining skins was a little bit cheaper-ish, because now it would give me all the skins I was missing. So what happened was that I bought my way to like Reputation 1,
Hmm.
and the way I did it, because like when you have 1.3 million credits,
Yeah.
nobody can match you. Nobody has that amount of credits.
Yeah, that's yeah.
They only have like something like 2k, maybe 100. Like some of the mods have 100 k, maybe 200k, but nobody had 1.3 million. So what I had to do was that in order for people to encourage people to rep trade with me, I would often do deals like I would give them 2 rep for their one rep. So if they gave me 100 rep, then I would give them 200 rep. Or sometimes even if they gave me 100 rep, then I would give them 400 rep back. That's why like
That's it.
some people, I think Colo Wolo, but also some other people who did these rep trades with me, they gained a lot of rep for almost nothing because I was doing these really good deals with them. Because if I didn't, they wouldn't do it because it was they wanted the skins because you could still buy skins with the credits.
Yeah, I
So
see.
I really had to like put it out there that I was ready to pay overprice for their credits. And there was even a time where I was so desperate, to get top one just for for the fun of it,
Mhm.
that I even Butcher, I think he's called. I even paid him some tokens, like gifted him some tokens, just so he could give me a rep from
Because
the.
Butcher is also from Denmark, right? Same as you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like what happened? I didn't choose, but like I basically just asked out in the general chat, is there anyone who want to do this deal with me? Like I give you money and you just give me a rep. And Butcher was the first one who just said me, 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 me. And then after I found out he was Danish, so it was just random. He was just the first to take the deal.
I see. Yeah.
So
Okay, so let me ask you then, since you play like at least half of them, you also like talking a lot in the chat because
yeah.
you clearly like to play the game and you like some sentences, right? So
Mhm.
tell me, what do you think is going to happen with the C2? What do you like about it? What you don't like? Are you going to play? Are you not going to play it? So let me like your thoughts about the C2 overall, and yeah, just tell me a bit about that.
So the main like if you compare Deceit 1, like the prime time, like the best of the best time, back when everybody was playing and it was such an amazing game. Like it had its flaws, don't get me wrong. Like it was a toxic game and people shot each other and it was a mess. But the game was so fun back then. Like it was so fun and everybody enjoyed it. Now, Deceit 2, the problem with Deceit 2 is that it's actually going away from what made Deceit 1 good. Like if you think about it, everything that is in Deceit 2 is not like it's like they took everything that worked from Deceit 1 and just toss it out in the trash and just redesign the game a little bit. Like not even the blood bags are not even in the game anymore. Now it's this
Offering
ritual.
blonde, yeah, offering blonde, yeah.
Yeah, like there's nothing like I don't think like the only thing that are in the game now that was back then is like the camera, the pistol, the traps, and the torch. I even like and even the torch is just a flashlight now. Like the only the items remain, but the scanner has been reworked. The blood bags have been reworked into this ritual. Even the nighttime has been reworked into this one kill, and then everybody just get teleported to the same map but just random. Like I like the C2, but I don't think the C2 is like it's not the solution to the problems that the C1 had. I actually think that over time, the C2 will basically end like the C1, where a lot of people are gonna come in, like there'll be a lot of hype. A lot of people are gonna maybe they will hit like 4,000 players, on the official launch, and people are gonna play on PlayStation and Xbox, and the game will get hyped up. Like people will play, people will stream it, and YouTube videos and stuff like that. But then I think as people get better at the game, as people start to learn the game, learn all of the objectives, start to figure the game out, I think it will stall out. I think DC2 is basically trying to fit all of the other like it's trying to kind of like fit Among Us in a sense, like being more casual. I'm not saying that C2 is trying to be Among Us, but it's trying to be that casual
About mainstream
experience.
game, like about mainstream game. That's what you think, like
Yeah,
mainstream in sense of like getting more people to play with friends and such and things like that, right?
yeah, like when you think about it, when you think about the C2, what kind of risks is the game actually taking? Like, what kind of, high stakes risk reward? Like, what is it trying to really like invest on, to try and make the game unique in a sense? And they're playing it really safe. Like, it's so safe. Like, you do an objective, you go to the pendler, you get any item you want, and then when the night turns on, you're guaranteed a kill. You just go around and you're guaranteed to kill someone. Like eventually they're gonna run out of flashes and you can't even shoot the terror. So it's like at that point the only thing the innocent can do at that point is just try to do the objectives. All of the objectives, by the way, I think it's 45 objectives or 35 objectives.
Yeah,
It takes
44.
it takes a while, but all of that time, where the infected can literally target whatever player they want, and even if they don't target the specific player they want, they are guaranteed to kill someone. Almost like you really have to be bad. Like even the Terraform.
Unless the healer heals someone and you kill that specific player, right?
Yeah. The problem when you make a game, like when you build a game, it's like building a cake. So you need a good foundation, you need the cream and the taste and everything. And the problem with the C2 is that the way that the way they have made the C2 with that you're guaranteed one kill, it makes sense because of the way that they have made the game. Like, because if they don't guarantee one kill, let's say you could end the nighttime and nobody gets killed, it's gonna be incredible hard, like really hard for the infected to win because they increase the amount of innocents now. Like, like now it's what, 7 innocents?
Yeah,
Yeah,
7.
7. Yeah, like compared to 4 in the seed 1. So like they changed the game, and now they made changes to adapt to the new game that I made. So if you ask me if I think it's bad that you're guaranteed a kill, I would say I don't actually have an opinion right now, because like we need to play the game more, and maybe they will do some balance changes and fixes to it. But it makes sense based on how the game is now. But as I might have said earlier, I think the C2, the way that it's made right now, it's actually going away from everything that made the seed 1 good. Actually, what they should have done is like they're catering to this casual deception. Like they really want deception to be in the game, whatever you like it or not. Like now you have to like deceive people, like, because you cannot overpower through shooting anymore. You cannot
Yeah,
overpower
it's
through
impossible now
ward.
to
Yeah,
shoot. Yeah, because it's
yeah,
like a
like
7v2, right? It's you're not, and not only it's a 7v2, you have limited bullets. You have only
exactly.
27 bullets, so you cannot start shooting on the phase 1 because you're going to run out of bullets. And also the players can see your location. Also, another question I want to ask you: what do you
Yeah.
think about the map? You like the map because as now there's only one map, right?
Yeah, I think the map, as like the by designer, it's fine. The only thing I think is a little bit quote unquote lazy or a little bit weird is the teleportation, like the where you go to like one of those teleportation walls, you
Hmm.
just click on it and you teleport somewhere. I'm like I mean it's not bad, but why couldn't they just, build the map so you don't have to teleport around, like go somewhere and then just teleport? It just feels like, why can't we just have a normal building where you go, like go physically from A to B and everything? I feel the teleportation is just quote unquote a little bit lazy way of designing the map, because in the old maps, did we have any in the seed 1, all of the maps, did we have any kind of teleportation,
Yeah, no.
except, of course the vents, there was the vents, but beside that, there was no teleportation in the early stages of the seed. Then later on, they added you just go to, that glowing door, and then you just get teleported into the new area. But in older seed, you had to walk through the snow. You remember?
Yeah,
You had
yeah,
to
yeah.
go from from one place through the snow, freezing, almost freezing to death, and getting into the door that sometimes would close in your face. Like people would
And you
try
can
to like,
fight there also. You can down someone in the snowy
yeah,
part and he got froze to death. That was also a nice addition.
yeah. And I'm like, why did they remove that? I know why they removed it. They removed it because if you're new to the game, if you're bad at the, like, quote unquote bad at the game, it was so punishing. It's so nobody thinks it's fun to get downed outside in the snow over and over and not
Yeah,
really having much count. Like it felt horrible. It felt bad. But in the beginning, when I played the game, those things make the game look so much cool. I was like, oh, there's snow and you can freeze outside in the snow and you have to run to the next area. That was so cool. Like if I play the game now with all of the teleportation around, it's so boring. Like it's just to get teleported around. Like I feel a lot of people who play the Seed 1 now and the Seed 2 now, they're missing a lot of the hardcore classic features that just got erased. And I understand why they did it. I mean, because of the casual aspect, like people would people were basically leaving the game. They didn't find it was too hardcore for them, but there was a lot of people who also loved it. The Siege curse is that it's first person with guns and camera and other things you can point and click with, and other games don't have that. Like all of those old class deception games are mostly just like you just vote, you kick someone out, and even in like the Counter-Strike mods and all the other mods where you have a gun and stuff like that, it's often just one person having a gun or everybody having a gun. So it's like then it's just a shooting game. But the Seed don't want to be a shooting game, so it's like it's kind of its worst enemy in the sense that it doesn't have a clear advantage. It wants to be everything. It wants to be deception. It wants to be casual. It wants to be more like tension, and it just feels like once people realize, oh yeah, somebody has to die every night. Oh yeah, I can't even hide because everybody can wall hack and see me through the walls. Oh, there's no looting. Like the feeling of looting a weapon, like the camera or the antidote. You get that little dopamine rush. You're like, oh, I found the antidote. Oh, I found the camera.
And everyone
Oh,
hears you, right? Getting that
yeah,
item.
yeah, but like back then, when you found that vest, when you found that camera, when you found that antidote, you felt a little bit of like yes, But
Mhm.
now you are guaranteed whatever kind of weapon or camera or whatever you like, you will have it every game. So now there's no dopamine rush because you just see you see an objective, you do it, and you get the gun. Next game, you do it the same objective, you get a gun. There's no more like, oh my god, I found a gun. This is my round. This is now I'm gonna win. This is now I'm gonna dominate. No, you get it every game. People don't want to admit this, but like getting those dopamine kicks, getting those excited moments, that what's made like PUBG when you drop down. You looted, you found that gun, you were lucky, you found that random gun in that random house, and now you're like, oh my god, I found a like level 3 vest. I found like this really nice gun. That created some, oh my god, like really some, like you never knew what to expect. You really got those dopamine things. But now the only dopamine you get from the C2 is winning the game, like voting the infected out or winning the game. You get it by escaping a terror, like let's say a terror is chasing you and you like successfully get away. And then there is the loot booth, like where you just get the random skins. I think that's the three main dopamine kicks now that you get out of the C2, which is kind of ironic because the C2 was like meant to be more casual experience, but at the end of the day, shooting is probably what's gonna win or lose you the game anyway.
Yeah,
Like in that in
when you
that
have a
state,
gun, when
yeah,
you have a gun in a
yeah.
game, it's always going to revolve to the gun, right? It's
Yeah,
simple.
like it's like no matter how good you are, like in this current state of game, no matter how good you are as infected, because you can only kill one at a time every single night. Eventually, like before it gets to next night, you will end on that magic 4 people left, two innocent and two infected, and then the infected basically what I have to do is just run around, try not to engage in a fight, drink the blood, turn, and then kill one more, and then it's basically GG. But that's not fun. Like it's not like would you think it's fun being
No, no.
innocent and then just run around after the infected while they try to like they can
Uh,
see you through the yeah
yeah,
like through the
and also
net.
it's a bigger map, which actually it's almost impossible because you can just
Yeah.
run, and just like offer blood. Yeah, it's not the only thing I think it's a good idea to add is that you have limited bullets. You have only
Yeah.
like 27. You need to be a bit more careful with that.
But I think like once people like you and me, once we get that really passive, calm, no voting, don't even scan, like we won't even use the scanner, like the pin code thing, unless
Yeah,
everybody can see the result on the screen. Unless that is the case, nobody would even
yeah, you
use that.
cannot even frame the scanner now. It's
Yeah, and the camera and the pistol will be top one and top two picked item. Like everybody will take a camera, unless they're infected, then they will take the pistol, of course. And then they will take pistol, and then maybe they will take some other item. But camera, pistol,
camera,
and maybe
pistol. Yeah, maybe the syringe
uh,
to get like more
yeah,
sanity.
I think more like the traps then, like the traps you can place on the ground.
Yeah, true.
Because then you can place the trap on the ground, the infected step on it, you run away. You place not a trap, they come to you, you run away. And once you're done with that, then you have the camera shots, like 4 shots. you know. So if they try to target one specific person, it's just like it's not. It's gonna be like Deceit 1, but less skill. Like it's gonna be like Deceit 1, but just more casual, and it's gonna feel bad. Like you will start to feel the limitations. Where like, oh my god, why can't I just shoot the terror? Why can't I just do that?
Yeah.
Everybody can see where I am, and even if I camp, now the eyes will give away my position. I think once people actually learn the game, play the game a lot, like it will probably always be fun, but eventually people just get like, then they'll have to make new maps, new items, maybe change things around, twerk the balance a little bit, but the core gameplay, it can feel a little bit it will have basically Deceit 2's problem would probably be the same as Deceit 1, where people get a little bit bored out of their mind, and that's where they will have to try and apply those sandbox features that they have, you know, with the peddler, like maybe remove some items sometimes, like so you can no longer buy the pistol, like like so it's random what you can buy in the shop. Then like one round you cannot even have the pistol, and then you have to, like, everybody have to like maybe fist like
Or maybe when the infected go to the peddler, they can like cancel some items. You know, that will be
yeah,
also interesting for the
yeah.
infected to like go to the peddler and he can like hack the terminal of the peddler and maybe make anyone get anything, or just like remove some items. Maybe that's also an idea that can make the peddler shop a bit more balanced. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the Situ is not going to be a game that you play every single day. I think the Situ is going to be a game that you play maybe with friends, like maybe you play on Saturday a bit, maybe you play on Wednesday a bit, and that's it. That I
Like,
mean, the objective of the situ is clear, right? Like we said, mainstream,
yeah.
more players in the lobby. You have 9. You have a bit of this game, a bit of this game, a bit of that. What works here, what works there, and then you have more players at your door. More players are going to try because I think a lot of players are going to play the situ. So maybe if you have a lot of players playing the situ, some of them are going to stay, and I think that's the idea with the situ, right? It's like instead
Yeah.
of being a niche kind of game, which is the Sit One, which is very niche, and for not a lot of people, the situ is going to open up and be more mainstream and try to get more players to play it.
Yeah, like what I think is gonna happen is that the C2 is gonna launch. It's gonna be a very hype launch because, you know, the devs will do anything to hype it up. The console and PlayStation people are probably gonna love it because, you know, like you know, it's a unique kind of PlayStation game with
Yeah,
deception and everything.
and there
So
is not there. Let me see if I'm wrong. There is not many games which are deception on console, right? I
yeah, I don't
think.
think so.
Yeah,
I
I don't
think
think.
that I don't think there's any deception console games out there. So I think for the PlayStation and console gamers, it's probably like a really fresh new product that where people are gonna be like, oh, that's really cool. But I will say one thing though, is that if they try to connect console players and PlayStation and PC together,
Oof.
I
Yeah.
I, oof, I think that's gonna give a problem because, you know, like let's say you're getting chased by a terror, you have the camera. On PC, it's very easy to jump, turn around fast with the mouse, and click. You know, click with the camera. I think that's a little bit harder to do on console, maybe. Like to do that really, you know, really fast spin, like with the mouse. It's just you can really like move, like really make rapid movements with the mouse. Where when with the joystick, it's like there's some sensitivity limitations. So no matter how much you flick it, there will still be that slow turnaround. So I think if they match PC and console players together, the PC players will have in some cases a really strong advantage over console players. Even if they try to maybe, I don't know, twerk a little bit, to tweak it a little bit. So
Yeah, that's
I
going
don't
to be
know.
a very hard thing for developers to
Yeah,
find,
like
like
I'm
the through line.
skeptical of the crossplay. Let me put it like I'm skeptical of PlayStation and PC and Xbox people playing together because I still think at the end of the day, PC might have a little bit more of an advantage, and then they might try and flush it out by aim assist, and maybe if you play on console, then maybe you have some extra stuff or something that, you know, to balance it. I think the best play would probably be to make it default console, like console play with
Mhm.
console, and then the console players, if they want to, can uncheck a box where it says if you want to play with PC people, you gotta understand that you do have a disadvantage or something, and they can join in. But by default, the game is just gonna only match them with console people. But yeah, I think Deceit 2 being free, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when.
Yeah.
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 Like it will happen. It will happen because like once they have gone through the initial hype and everybody played the game and the hype is over and they want to maintain the player base, then they have to start looking for people who want to play the game but got thrown away by the price, and they might do some like summer sales like 50% off the C2 and stuff like that, and then eventually it's gonna be free and they're just gonna make money off the skins, and yeah, then we basically get to Deceit 1 situation, and then it would be interesting to see what then happens if World Makers will make a new game, like not a Deceit 3 but maybe a new game, and like what they're gonna do once Deceit 2 have reached its prime and it's just getting to the stage of Deceit 1 where it has a player base but it's not growing. It's not growing. It's just those 2K, 3K people, maybe 4K people just always playing, and it's never going up. It's never going down. It's just being, just that flat line. What they're gonna do then? Like, are they gonna make more patches? Are they gonna balance? Are they gonna make some ranked stuff? Like, what are they gonna do to keep the game growing and alive? Like, my prediction for the game is that it's gonna launch. It's gonna be a quote unquote successful launch. People are gonna love it. It's gonna be a fun game. Like, and I think I think I will have success getting more of my friends to play the game. I think I will enjoy the game for the first year or something like that. I think I will. I think I will like the game. Like, even though it's missing all of the things I just mentioned, because it's new. The game is new graphics, items, and everything. Like, it's a new game. It's gonna be fun. But once we're catching up to the game, once we tried everything, once my friends tried everything, new games are gonna come, other studios are gonna compete for our time and our money and everything, and I just think when it comes to the C2 defending its players, like holding onto its players, I think they're gonna have a little bit of a hard time unless they like really mix things up a little bit, because then another Deception game is gonna come, or another like maybe Riot Games MMO, the League of Legends MMO that's gonna come at some point, and all of the other things, maybe Microsoft is making a new game. It's even State of Decay 3 that is also incoming, and Payday 3 and all of the other games, and I think that's where Deceit 2 is gonna have a problem, like holding these players, because like they don't have any really strong advantage that really makes people addicted to the game for a long period of time.
I think that's a nice prediction and a nice thoughts on the Deceit 1 and 2. So yeah,
Yes.
thank you very much for the interview. Thank you for accepting, and thank
Yes.
you for joining my channel.
You too, Hans, and have a nice day.